Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody tuning in to another episode of the sports oriented Wokeism show. I'm your host Solomon Wafua. Thank you to everybody who has been contributing to the previous episode. Really appreciate it. That's how the channel continues to grow. If you have been sharing, liking, following on this show from the beginning, um, you all know what uh, has been progressing since the first episode, and right now uh, the channel is continuing to grow despite the slow pace, which is understandable. And I hope that you've been entertained so far with these episodes that I've launched, and with this trend of, or should I say, the pace where it's going. I hope that you know we are steadily growing, not exponentially, but should be steadily growing with time. And I hope this show has got you interested in wanting me to do more of the same content, and hopefully it will spread further across the world. So, but anyway, what is this show all about? For those who are new, either watching me or listening to me, this show is all about breaking down headlines that has wokeism infected into the sports, culture, or should I say, the world of sports, either in the business side of it or on the pitch side of things. And I'm here to let you know whether this headline is woke, extremely woke, or not that woke, or somewhere in between. And it's up to you guys to contribute and spark a conversation on the same. But today we're going to focus on African football, because we are looking at the African Cup of Nations. They have just concluded the round of 16 as of today, and so 8 teams have qualified, and that is what I'll be talking about on one side. And also on the other side, we're going to be talking about the alleged racism, uh, which was, uh, to some they say it's committed, but according to CAF it was not committed. And just brings back to a bit of history between North Africa and the rest of Africa on both the club level and national team level, as to who is more successful than the other, and who should rule Africa in terms of the game of football, or should I say, the beautiful game. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, even as we relate to the updates on the African Cup of Nations. As you can recap some few episodes back, where I was saying I'll be updating the AFCON per stage. I did one for the group stages. Now today we are going to look also at the round of 16, how it all went down, and as we go forward to the quarterfinals. So, without further ado, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in and listening or watching me from wherever country you are, from whatever time zone you're using. Thank you so much, and let's dive into it now. According to the notes I've jotted down, AFCON is already in the quarterfinal stage, which is going to kick off on the 2nd and the 3rd of February, which basically means this coming Friday and Saturday. That's where the quarterfinals will be happening. Now, 16 teams played in the round of 16, and right now 8 teams have qualified. And these 8 teams include Nigeria, Angola, Cape Verde, South Africa, Mali, Ivory Coast, DR Congo, and Guinea. Now, if you've heard or you've seen me list down the 8 teams, now do you know that all these 8 teams are from sub-Saharan Africa? Let me give you the facts. Number one, no North African team has qualified for the quarterfinals since 2013. Look at that, since 2013. Now, which of these two teams that didn't qualify for the quarterfinals? Now, in the 2023 AFCON, this current one, the current edition, 4 out of the 5 teams from the north have qualified for this tournament, and that includes Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. Now, out of the 4 teams that have qualified for the AFCON, excluding Libya, who did not qualify for the tournament, only 2 qualify for the round of 16. That is Egypt and Morocco. meaning that Algeria and Tunisia were knocked out in the group stages, and then Egypt and Morocco qualified for the round of 16. Now, out of these two teams, none of them qualified for the quarterfinals. Egypt were knocked out by their Congo on penalties, and then Morocco were knocked out by South Africa yesterday. And so that leaves no North African team in the quarterfinals for the first time since 2013. And then give you another bonus fact. Only one North African team has won the AFCON in the previous 5 editions. And in between that span, it was only Algeria who won it, and that was in 2019. And speaking of 2019, which was hosted by Egypt, it is the only North African team that has hosted the AFCON in the last 5 editions. So what does that tell you? It tells you that CAF has considered uh, looking at other regions, either in the west or in the south, uh, also looking at the central and the east. And speaking of the east, East Africa will be hosting AFCON in 2027. So congrats to all the three nations, that is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, for winning their hosting bid to host the AFCON. So as you can see, it is widespread instead of only focusing on the north side of Africa. And why am I bringing the issue of racism here? Because it was alleged that racism took place on the pitch after the game between Morocco and the RC, which happened last week, where there was alleged racism between uh, the Moroccan coach Walid Regragui and the DRC captain Chancel Mbemba. Now, according to Coach Regragui, he said he did not racially abuse him after he gave a handshake to the defender, after the defender was, you know, having his personal moment post match. But if you look at the evidence on the clip, uh, according to fans, they say racism occurred. That is why when you look at videos online, you are seeing to the point where uh, players were fighting against each other whereas they are going to the tunnel. But as investigations have happened, both federations have been fined for the incident. Regragui originally was supposed to be suspended for 2 games, but he only missed 1 game, which was the final group game in their win against Zambia in the group stages. And then he came back, meaning that the ban was lifted, which he did against South Africa, only to be knocked out 2 goals to nil yesterday. So even before that game, there were reports that Coach Walid received death threats, whereas the player, which is Chancel Bemba, received online racist abuse. So I believe that racist abuse came from the Moroccan fans online. All in all, that goes to tell you that uh, the north of Africa versus the rest of Africa have a bit of internal racism in between the Arabs and the blacks in Africa, and I don't like that kind of picture because it's going to really destroy the uniqueness of Africa in terms of culture and everything to do with its diversity in race, the diversity in languages and so forth. But when it comes to football, we can see at club level, the North African clubs are dominating the club competitions in Africa. But when it comes to the national team, as of recent, it is the sub-Saharan Africa that are dominating, not just in AFCON, but also in CHAN, which is a similar tournament like AFCON, but now focusing on home-based players, and then also the age group levels. And now that Coach Walid has been excused by CAF, that does not mean that he will not pay a fine. He'll of course have to pay the fine, and let's see how Morocco will move forward now that they have been eliminated. But let's go forward to the quarterfinal matchups. We have Nigeria facing Angola, and also we have Cape Verde facing South Africa, and then you have Mali facing Ivory Coast, and then also DR Congo facing Guinea. All these matches will going to be played between 2nd and 3rd of February. Quick predictions in the final. I'll give it to Nigeria on one side, who have the most valuable squad, and then also on the other half of the bracket, I'll give it to Ivory Coast, who are the hosts. So if they both meet in the final, I think that would be good. But other than that, it's going to be a wide open field. No North African team in the quarterfinals for the first time since 2013, and let's see how it goes. But hey, that's all I have for today on the sports oriented Wokeism show. Thank you to everybody for listening or tuning in wherever you are around the world. Let me know in the comment sections, your contributions. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's keep the channel growing, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.